Hello, everybody. My name is Stefano Negrini, CEO of Orthodontists, Orthodonti Lab in Italy. I am here today just to talk with you about Vision, a software of SoftSmile. Vision software is a software for planning liner cases, and I'd like to show you today the main function about the software. From my point of view, a very interesting software with a lot of interesting things. Okay, basically, this is the main panel, and when you go here, you see all of the patients inside. And later, I will talk to you about the assignments. And when you need to create a new patient, you click here, and you need to make some info about the patient before click next. And the main one is their name and last name and birthday and gender. And if you want email, and also the software prepares for you a special ID code and something else. And this is the step one. If you see here, step one, patient info. When you finish, you arrive here just to have. Step two, pre-processing. And you have the ID, patient ID, first name, last name, email, birthday, gender, and some other info. And also, you have the possibility here to import STL file. And upper lower, also the software like STL, but also OBJ file. And sometimes I like to import OBJ file because it's a little better than STL from my point of view. And also we have the possibility to choose other files like picture of the patient, like front, smile, side. And also we have here a lot of formats, different formats like JPG and PNG file. You have a lot of options. Also, you have the possibility to import intraoral pictures like upper jaw, lower jaw, front side, right side, left side, also X-ray. And on the other hand, CBCT file that is so interesting because when you import the CVTC file, the software needs a complex file like zip file or something similar. If you click here, you click this one, and the software opens the window and you have the icon file zip, and you click import and the software start working. And that is interesting because the software make the segmentation of the root and combine the root with the crown, and that is much better for the planning the cases because you plan the case with a real root. And that is so interesting. Okay, we are waiting for the import SimCity. Okay, when the CVCT file is already uploaded, you need to open the case. Okay, now you have the authorization to open the case. Okay. This is the upper and lower jaw of the patient, lower and upper. Now you need to if you want to adjust the orientation, I talked to you. Where is the function? You need to put 3 points. And the software align everything according to the plan. Next, you have here some option to remove some part if you want. Okay, like to look, home AB2. You extend. That is a little bit interesting to extend, look, just to okay. Okay, that is interesting. I think one of the option more interesting for the software, just to have a good option to close some gap, and also when you have not a lot of gingiva, just to increase a little bit. And that is so cool. Okay, finally you click next. And this is the amazing new function for the version 11.10 1.10, sorry. And the auto segmentation, the software show you measuring this top part already done. You need to check just the position. And if you want to modify something, just to select the tools here and changing also the software. Understand that third molar is already missing. And also when one of the tools in the middle is already missing is fine. And for you just to checking if the measure distance point is enough. That's it. So cool. Now, the software make the automatic segmentation also is possible, the same upper, lower, the same function. Okay, now, let me check. Okay, look, now you need to make something like to adjust. The speed line, you select the tooth and just like this, and you select the tooth here, or maybe just to double click in the point, and the software change everything. Okay, Lava Joe. So easy. Okay. Next step. Now the software show you the high gingiva segmentation, just to show you the line that's like task checking. Okay, Next step, base trim line. Okay, if you want to increase a little bit the base trim line, you work like this, and just to have the best base. If you want just something, that's it. When you agree, click next. Okay. Some mistake, let me check. Okay, here also. Good, maybe we try here again. Let me just do interesting the shop to show you some mistake. Okay, see, try again. Okay, this one. Okay. This is the 2 model base. Okay, now you have here, if you want to increase the height of the base, just to, that's trimming. Okay. Or maybe higher, or maybe here. Okay, when you agree, you click next. And the software show you the, look here, CDT segmentation with real root. And the software make everything alone, matching the real root with tooth. So interesting. Just because it's much better work with root than without root, and also to use the real root and not just a fake root, and that is so important. Okay, if for any situation you don't have the CBT file, obviously the software prepare for you a fake root, but also interesting root, just to understand better and better the long axis and everything. You have the possibility to take off the jaw, and also just to change something in the root position. And also, for example, the software show you some mistake like here, collision, and we have the possibility to modify and just to take off collision, but also adjust the root inclination. Also here, see here you have a contact, and just to change something, and the mistake is done. You check one by one all of the tools, and you will try to do some better inclination for everything. And that's lower. Okay, you check all of the tools, and that's it. Next. and the software save everything for you. And now you have the possibility to work in the digital planning for aligners. Waiting for the process. Most of the fonts from the software is so interesting. Okay, saving. Okay, now the case is ready for segmentation and prepare the case. Okay, now we have the case ready for the segmentation. Now we talk a little bit about this icon and more or less of this one. And that's it. Here we have upper and lower jaw space. Overlay just the beginning case. Contact, and mostly you have the occlusion map here. And just to check. Okay. The contour of the tooth, if you want to see or not, and also gingiva. And obviously the root inside the gingiva. Okay. Here you have attachment we can talk about. This one we have manual and also the auto placements bite ramp. You need to select the tools and select which type of bite ramp you need. Elastic, some types of design of the elastic. Pontage. It's possible to choose some pointing in the library or maybe to mirroring some tools in the other side. Separation. If you have auto IPR. Auto IPR become when you move the tooth and you have some collision, automatically the software remove for you on separate surface on multi-APR. When you have some PR, you need some tools, need IPR. Here you have patient pictures, model analysis, also point analysis like measuring distance with the incisor, the actual arch-legged headial arch leg. Lower and also either lower arch leg and also the ratio. And some info about the case, so interesting. Jaw displacement. If you want to change the jaw, okay, like, and also if you need to, okay, have to move like this, okay, this is jaw displacement, that is interesting. Okay, if you want to apply or cancel, and that's it. if you want to sculpt the tooth, for example, you have some warning here, obviously, because if you change something in the tooth, you need to understand what is the warning. This is the treatment plan steps. When you move the tooth here, you come all the step here, and it's possible to manipulate a little bit, but we talk about that later. This is the tooth movement table. Here, for all of the movement, you have all of the detail become step by step. Virtual articulator. We have some, it's possible to modify something, and also the pennant. Okay. Okay, that's it. Here, you have some movement. When you select the tooth here, you have, for example, free movement, side movement, like just straight line movement, left and right, back and forward, measure and distal, okay? Obviously, it's possible to come back everything, or maybe rotation, just rotation. Also, rotation is interesting because you have different type of rotation. This one is just around the center of the crown. Here, allow the center of resistance. And you have some movement, like some movement in the crown and some movement in the root. Or maybe, and this is interesting, or maybe this one, I take off the lower jaw. This is the inch movement. Look, just the movement is just like inch movement, like door movement. And this in this side, or maybe on the other side. And that is so interesting. Okay. Okay. Here, locomotion, this is so interesting. The locomotion is like this one, look. If you move the tools automatically, the tools move, also follow the movement, and you have the possibility to make just 50% of proclination. Okay, and no collision, but also proclination, just proclination. Okay, like this one, no collision, but proclination, or maybe this one, look, just to have here just to proclination, or maybe just no proclination, but just to collision, and that's it. And this is the locomotion. The best is to have maybe half and half if you want, and that's it, 50-50. Obviously, Another interesting option when you use locomotion is just to, for example, to lock some tools, for example, and when you look, this not the molar doesn't move, and obviously you check when you start movement. You see the interproximal collision. Okay. Okay, that's it. Okay. If you don't want collision, is here no movement? Look. In this side, if you put just collision, movement, and that is so interesting. But if you don't want collision, here is no movement. No movement, but half and half, for example. If you put half and half, you have something like small collision, but also some inclination about the tooth, like just to look, movement and also collision. Okay, but if you see you have some inclination and some collision here, have a lot of different options, and that is so cool. Okay. You see, extract tooth. Lock. Semi-transparency. Okay, a lot of function. So interesting. Another one of the main for the software is also this one, the auto segment, the auto alignment. And you see also, okay, upper jaw and also the arch of the lower jaw. And you see this upper and lower, see, this is the lower, okay. You have some option here like symmetric editing if you expand the arches symmetrically. And also real-time treatment. When you move the tooth automatically, when you move the arch look, the software change immediately. Okay? And also you see the number, this is space, and the number become blue is space. And also if you want distalize to avoid collision is true, is possible. Or maybe not. Look, I put distalize to avoid collision. Look. And move the tooth and the software. Take off all the collision because I add this type of function, or maybe look, this one now I come back everything just to show you something new. And also another interesting is just to have, for example, maybe click Control and just to take this one and say lock, and the software add movement just in the insertion and look. and move the tooth like here. You, for example, look, have a lot of interesting option, Up to you, obviously, to use this type of function. You need to take care of a lot of detail. Where the doctor wants, where the doctor needs. All of the detail you need to take care. Obviously, the auto setup, the software use a lot of artificial intelligence. Depend which you want from the software. But I like to show you everything. Maybe you have the option to work alone, just step by step. Okay? For example, if you want to move like this, one, like basically step by step. Okay? Also, you have the possibility to use the keyboard. No, look, now I use the keyboard like to the arrow in the keyboard, and you see some movement here, distalization, and also you see the locomotion. You see locomotion? Okay, that is cool. And maybe in this one. Okay, and you just... Or maybe you work manually. Understand the blue one is just the space, not collision. Okay, obviously in the setup. You use the same. You need to pay attention. Obviously the software is independent to the movement you had. During the planning is not. The movement is not depending of the software, but it's only for you. It's up to you. You need to understand which type of movement is enough or not. Which type of movement is possible or not. And that's it. That is important. Okay? Also, just you need to understand a lot of detail. Still, you want to put the plan, for example, plane grid. Okay? If you want to add gingiva just to understand, okay? You have a lot of interesting solution. And also, if you see here, now, I've had some movement now. I think it's possible to look the table. This is the movement. And I have option to make stepping. Okay, and the software show you the value of the stepping. Obviously, it's possible for you to changing. Okay? Over wall is the movement, and this is the movement for all of the value for all of the movement, like intrusion, extrusion, for example, extrusion. I like to have less than 0.25. Also for the intrusion, translation, I like to have maybe 0.2. Also for rotation is 2 degrees, 2.0. Angulation is maybe 2. Maybe 2. Okay, when you apply. Okay, the software show you all of the movement, and also here you have the overview also here. When you go here, you have the possibility to check in real time the movement, like but you see here you have collision. If you want to take off collision, you click auto. And the software optimize the plan and remove all the collision. And that is the planning, optimized planning. Usually the software increase the number of the aligner. And now you see all of the movement, like to avoid the collision, if you like. If you don't like, you need to go to stepping and you apply and the software come back again. Or maybe you go like this and like this, what you want. If you need to distalize is possible, but take care, you need to go. The tools one by one. You know, okay. One by one. Just to have a good relationship. But this is independent to the software, but it's up to you. You know, it's up to you. You need to understand which type of movement the software needs. The patient needs, sorry, and that's it. This is not absolutely independent to the software. The locomotion, look. That is cool. You need to go here just to check all of the detail, and also you have just locomotion. If you do one locomotion and in in a moment of the planning, you just to put like locking and no locomotion, just interproximal reduction, okay, or maybe locomotion. Okay, that's it. And that is so cool. Okay, and start working like this one, or maybe this one. Look, the locomotion, just because the space, the software, the tooth needs some space, and that's it. Okay? Basically, if you go here again, this is red and red because the sixth step is not enough. And you make step in again, and you click apply, and the software for you, for example, this is upper jaw, but also if you have the lower jaw, look, when you click one tooth and the other tooth, this is the lower jaw. But also the software show you have collision here. And you need to check. Look. Look. You have the option to end the collision changing. If you, for example, that is interesting because this is distalization movement, and you need to move the tooth a little bit, and also is interesting because the distalization need the movement one by one, and you have the possibility to subdivide the movement in according to the distalization. Like, okay, for example, the first is the second molar, first molar, and here this one. But also, the software need more steps. Okay, look, I do move like this. Okay. But it's interesting to understand, when you finish the setup, you have the option to work, to do treatment plan staging and change. The movement. Primary movement, secondary movement, and third movement. That's it. That is so important. That is so important. Look. So interesting. That is so cool. And also, and obviously you need to take care. Everything. Now also the root. The canine. The best is to have horizontal and put like this one. Okay, now is much better, and this become like this, and this is like. Okay. Oh, I like this one vertically, super nice. This all the chapters has done the beginning one. And also here, like, okay, now I have the option to work like this one, or maybe like to have like this one. Look, just to move more the crown. Because it's in the center of rotation is much better than the movement I made before. Also, this one, just to move free and go like this one. And oh, I like this. So I like to put the second molar like this to have a little bit. Therefore, the expansion is much better to have. The expansion here and some contraction here just to increase the expansion. I like now. Look. Good. Okay, step by step, step by step. Okay, when you click here, you have the option to work together. No, just in one click, like for example, this one, this one, this one, and work like this, okay? Okay, now 0.6 of space. Now I go like this 0, okay? Here, okay, now I check here I want to put everything the best place. Okay. Now the midline is good enough. I like to check also inside just to check the best. Okay, good, okay. Now you see here some space, but I like to have space at the end of the treatment line. Now we go to this stepping again, just to apply. Okay, and this, if you want to maybe to modify something like to avoid some, just to modify something, look. I try to increase a little bit the number of the stage, and just to avoid the collision, because I have collision here, for example. Okay, look, just increase a little bit. And now I want to check the movement. Upper and lower. Okay, obviously here I have a lot of collision because I'm not in according with the look. Okay, good enough. Now I try to make the auto just to optimize the treatments, just for the lower. Because the lower need a lot of staging just to avoid collision. Now, we check together. Look now. They start a little bit, look. Okay? So move the become at the beginning, but I don't like too much, and I want to move, for example, look, I like to have like this is 25. I like to put like okay, I manage the stepping. Okay, now I like, because look, the first one, when the first one is not just not feeding finish, become the second one. When this is finished and this is in the middle, start this one. When this one finished, start this. And that's it. And also here, I like to have, for example, this one, no collision, one look. And now start from here and grab. Okay, now all the staging is done. Now, if you want to put, then now you have a chance to put the attachment you have. I told you now we have some interesting solution like to make attachments. Like for example, this one, and I select an attachment and I put here, for example, and just I define profile depth. Leg in. High weights, okay, good. And also view, I need the same in, for example, in the 11, just to click like this and to copy. If you want to make mirroring, just change the mirroring. Now I talked to you, look, about one of the rotation like this one. If you make mirroring, look, change position. And that is interesting just to have some different option to manage. You have a lot of different type of attachment, and just to check mirroring, and it's possible to you to adjust and everything, and also to define these higher or not the dimension, all of where you want. Okay. Or maybe if you use auto placements, look, now I have set something for the auto placements, and delete the auto placement, and I told you why it's possible to use the auto placements, and the software adds something alone. You need to go here in setting and use auto attachment placement and define the rules. For example, this one is just for the incisor and is just for angulation and torque. You define which type and in which part, baculolingual, and this is the first rules. You need, is possible to include more movements or maybe exclude some movements. And that is interesting also. It is possible to set the rule like for just, not for just the canine, but just for lower incisor, canine, and you click save, and that is fine. And also, this is the movement is just torque and rotation. If you need to put this one is for translation, movement, measure, and distal. If you want to make this one in the first position, just to go like this, and this has become first. Or maybe create a new rules, and you click just for the incisor, or maybe canine, or maybe just premolar, or maybe everything, or just molar, and you define the rules like include movement, like I don't. No measure and distal movement, and you define which type, and you click save, and automatically the software know. In the measure and distal movement up to 0.1. The software adds in the attachment vertical 2, and if you click save, that become add. Okay. Look, now I change some rule, and the software adds something. Okay. If you don't want to use this one, it's possible to use manually. For example, make some distalization here. And I need, for example, also copy here. Here, vertical copy. here, copy here, and that's it, or maybe an copy here and copy maybe here, this one copy here and copy here, and that's it, and you have everything. Okay, and also you add the jaw because you need not less than 2 millimeters of gingiva here, just to have a good fitting. Okay. So you don't have here 2 millimeters, and you click here and put this one, and maybe also just to check this one. If you want to reduce the attachment, the best is to as close to the incisal edge. Okay. Also, you see here the overlay is much better to understand which type of you need. For example, this is also distalization, some distalization movement, and you need also this one, and you put like vertical and copy and put vertical and copy and put vertical and copy and put vertical if you want. Maybe also just to put like this, and you need 2 millimeters more than 2 millimeters or not less, and that's it. Okay, fine. Okay, well, all is done. And you have all of the attachment is already done. Okay, when the case is finished, all the attachment is done. It's interesting because if you see here, but also the color changing in according to the step. Look. Here the collision is in according to the step. If you put this one here, and also check this one like this, you don't have collision, and that is cool. Okay? It's basically. Because it's ready and okay, and now you have the case here. Also, this step is done up and lower. Okay, now you need to side and completely set the center review. Why you center review? Because when you prepare the case, you have the possibility to assign the case a doctor, and when you finish the setup, you click to review, and the software sends to the case to the doctor. And for the doctor is possible to open the case and also make some changing if the doctor wants, or just to see the cases in the viewer and just to see the movement and anything else like this option, but it's not possible for the doctor to make any changing, or maybe another hand for the doctor is possible to use a special software to make some changing, but the changes is just for change some movement, but not to change the staging. Is not possible, but it's interesting because for the doctor it's possible to make some changes in 3D, like same like you, and that is so cool. Okay, thank you for watching me in this video, and I like you have a good option to try this software, and also you agree the option of this software like me, and see you next time. Take care.